In the previous video, we discovered that trying to play a major scale can use varying amounts of black keys on the keyboard, depending on what note you start on. This can be applied to notation using a system of key signatures. The key signature tells us how many black keys, represented by sharps or flats, are needed to play the key we want to play. It's traditionally found at the beginning of a piece of music, just after the clef. Remember C major? We can play it using all white keys, or all natural notes, no sharps and no flats. That means that there really isn't anything we need to see in the key signature, so if you see no sharps or flats after the clef, you'll know you're in C major. Remember F major? We needed to add one flat to keep that in the major scale pattern, a B flat. So if your song is in F major, you can expect to see a B flat in the key signature. This is a super helpful system. If you see a sharp or flat in the key signature, you can assume that it will apply to every pitch of that class for the whole song, unless specifically written otherwise. So in this piece of music, I am going to play every B I see as a B flat, because the key signature told me to. Let's take another note, G. If we start on G, we find that we also only need to alter one note to make it a major scale. We change F to F sharp. Side note, last time we talked about enharmonic equivalence and how this F sharp actually sounds the same as a G flat. So which one is it? Well, to keep it easy, we only use one type of each note in a scale. Since this is a G major scale, we already have a use for G, and a G flat would just get in the way and confuse things. Also, then we wouldn't have any type of F. So for simplicity, we name the black key by the pitch that is closest to keep things in order without repeating anything. So we know the G major has one sharp, F sharp. If we put it in the key signature, we know two things. This piece is likely in G major, and every F you see will be played as F sharp. How far can we go with this? There are 7 letters in the musical alphabet, and every one of them can be sharp or flat. Important to note, however, is that a key signature will use either sharps or flats, but never both. I could go on and on and on showing examples of every possible key signature, but I don't have to. Remember in the last video when I mentioned a great diagram to help us organize our key signatures? It's called the circle of fifths, for a reason that will become apparent soon. This diagram shows a number of useful things, and if you can remember it, key signatures become a breeze. At the top of the circle is C major. Remember that C major has no sharps and no flats. As we move clockwise, we are going to add sharps. As we move counterclockwise, we're going to add flats. Remember the key with one sharp? G major. So we're going to write that just clockwise of C major, adding a sharp. And thinking back further, remember that our key with one flat was F major. So we're going to write that just counterclockwise of C major, adding a flat. Now we could go back and try out our major scale pattern with every pitch and make a note of how many sharps or flats it uses, but let's not. Let's use the trick of the circle of fifths. If we look at our keyboard again, notice that from C up to G is 5 notes, inclusive. From C down to F is also 5 notes. This is the secret of the circle of fifths. Each key we need to find can be counted to as a fifth from the previous key. You can remember whether to count up or down based on whether you're going clockwise or counterclockwise. Clockwise adds sharps, which raise a pitch by a half step, so we count up. Counterclockwise adds flats, which lowers a pitch by a half step, so we count down. So using this, we can fill in almost everything else on the diagram. Counting a fifth up from G will get us to D, which uses 2 sharps. Up another fifth will get us to A, which uses 3 sharps. Another goes to E, using 4 sharps, then B, using 5. Now here, watch out. You could count up from B and get to F, but these sharps add on to each other, and we already know that every F after G major is going to be sharp. So a fifth up from B is not F, but actually F sharp, which uses 6 sharps. I guess it's important to know which sharps we're adding, huh? No worries, they go up by fifth too. After F sharp, the next will be C sharp, then G sharp, then D sharp, etc. Just keep counting fifths. After F sharp major, we go one more fifth to C sharp, building on the C sharp from D major, which uses 7 sharps. We stop at 7, It is theoretically possible to keep adding sharps forever, but in reality it becomes overwhelming, and there are easier ways to write it. Before we look at the other half of the diagram, let's talk about how to remember this order of sharps. It's useful that they are a fifth apart, but using a memory tool will come in handy too. There are plenty of mnemonics to remember this order of letters, and I encourage you to come up with your own fun sentence. But for now, let's use this. Fuzzy cats go dancing at every bar. The handy thing about remembering the order of sharps is it also gives you the order of flats. The flats appear in the reverse order of the sharps. Let's look back at the other half of the diagram. We've gone down from C to F, adding one flat, B flat. If we go down again, we get to B. But just like on the other side, these flats add on to each other. F major has already told us that all the B's from now on are flat, so this key is actually B flat. We know that the second flat is E flat from our reversed sharp sentence. Another fifth down will get us to E flat with 3 flats, then A flat with 4, D flat with 5, G flat with 6, and C flat with 7. Notice the pattern of fifths is pretty simple to identify. The trick is just remembering which are sharps and which are flats. The circle of fifths can be a bit overwhelming if you are new to reading music, so please leave questions in the comments if anything is still unclear to you, and I'll be happy to help out. In the next video, we'll talk about solfege and how it relates to keys. See you next time.